Oh, wonderful viewers. Thank you for joining me again in my backyard. And thank you, everybody who complimented my hosta. I do love my hosta. They grow like crazy here, and they don't need a lot of maintenance. So I absolutely love my varieties of hosta. So thank you, and to the fellow gardeners. Mwah. I wanted to talk about a number of things today. It's been a little while. We'll see if we'll have an adventure in the backyard. Hopefully won't swallow a gnat this time. But let's see what we have. Oh, goodness gracious. There's a lot of news today, of course. Trump was attacking Elijah Cummings, apparently on tweet, and Twitter by tweet. And Elijah Cummings is the head of the House Oversight Committee. So he is the head of the committee that is doing several investigations on Trump. So I understand why he would be a magnet for attacks. But I do have to say that Elijah Cummings, I have admired him. I have always enjoyed it when he's been speaking in these hearings. He just seems to bring such temperance and wisdom, but right as well. So I kind of want to see how he's doing. And right away I hear Trump isn't able to really do anything negative to him. No. Yeah, I hear Elijah Cummings is also pretty tough. And we must not forget that. Okay. So what do we have here? Okay. All right. So the death card, but reversed. So that's good. That means, all right, so Trump definitely would like to get rid of him, would like to ruin his career, find something that he did wrong to investigate. He'll find nothing. He'd like to be manipulative and cast doubt on Elijah Cummings' reputation. That too will not work. We have two reversals here. Instead, just try to fight the truth coming out. This one is not reversed. The Wheel of Fortune, the new era we're in of truth being exposed and coming out. Aren't these cards beautiful? They just tell the story. No, Mr. Cummings is safe. He's safe. His reputation is safe. What about, and he'll stay in there. He'll stay in there. What about Baltimore? They're very upset. Apparently Trump was criticizing Baltimore, Cummings district in Baltimore, and saying horrible things about it, which were not true. And what goes on with that? Oh, they're fine. Yeah, I mean, of course, strength, divine protection and strength. Actually, this turns out to be something that they're not worried either. Whoever's leaders in that district of Baltimore is not worried. They are having, I feel, an attitude like a small-minded person. Another small-minded person can't get us down. That's what I feel like. So the Nine of Swords is reversed because they're not worrying. The Three of Cups is reversed. So, but this does, put a little bit of a damper. This isn't so fun. But really, they're not celebrating yet. They want to be celebrating. They're going to be even more motivated to vote. That's what's going to happen out of this. And there's some real strength there. Yeah, I know Reverend Al Sharpton was out talking, saying, hey, this is one of the most up-and-coming districts. Education, upward mobility. What is Trump talking about? So there's that strength. All right. Okay, and now Mitch McConnell. Yes, he blocked a voter protection bill and a vote protection bill, a bill that would have given funds, given actual money to the different states to protect their vote and move toward paper ballots. And he blocked it. Of course he did. So he wants that interference. He wants people to be able to mess with the election, obviously. So, Spirit, what in the world? Does this open more people's eyes about his true motives? Well, we have the Two of Pentacles reversed. And that's sort of like, a lot of times to me, this is talking about the two parties, Republican and Democrat, right? And it still does kind of depend upon People's Party affiliation, how they interpret this. Because, of course, I suppose, if someone voted for Trump and they believe the Russians did not interfere in the election, they would say, well, why do we need to spend more money? Okay, I see. They're not also understanding the voter suppression actions. I was watching the news the other day, and there was an expert talking about it would be really easy to mess with the vote without actually messing with the vote. You don't have to necessarily change the votes. You can get in the voter rolls. They found with the investigation by Mueller, they found that Russia had gotten into the voter rolls in a number of states. And it was more of a reconnaissance mission, more let's see how things operate. It's not like they did a lot of things that we know about. There may have been, it's hard to detect anyway at this point. But it's very possible for them to get in and change your address, and then that would work in conjunction with efforts toward voter suppression that are going on in certain states and certain districts. And those votes may be then, you can't vote that day. Your address is wrong in here. So there could be things they could do that would work with mostly Republican efforts to suppress the vote, the Democratic vote. So, the threat is not gone. The threat is not gone. But right, Republicans are not seeing it. We have the 9 of coins. Yeah, he thinks, well, I'm sitting pretty, I'm going to do whatever I want. And we have the Page of Coins. He's working hard for new opportunity. He wants to be in with the right donors, the right billionaires, and you know what? I do think we have to be careful because there are many very, very wealthy people in the U.S. who are in favor of tax increases for them, who were not really in favor of the tax cuts for the very wealthy, who are actually, they lean a little more Democrat, more liberal. I think it was even 2/3, one poll found, said of those who had a lot of money, like billions, or $1 billion, close to that, said, sure, raise our taxes. This is ridiculous, So we do have to be very careful, too, not to put everybody in the same category there, just based upon their income. But there have been enough who have wanted to donate to political campaigns to get their way and to decrease taxes. So I do need to mention that one, too. Let's see, what else did I want to read on? Hong Kong, stability of Hong Kong. Okay, so Hong Kong has successfully, its people have protested against the policy to extradite, I don't know if it was journalists or dissidents, but for a while there, the leader in Hong Kong was saying, yes, we have to do that. We have to extradite these people to the mainland to be tried, and that would be a disaster because they've had this. Hong Kong has a different kind of government, a different kind of democratic spirit and norms than China does, mainland China, and they successfully did that. And I do believe the leader has stepped down, and there's another one. But I do want to know if they maintain that kind of stability and independence. I mean, I thought that was amazing how they did that. I mean, half of the city, I think, was out sometimes. So we have the 9 of coins. Yeah, they're sitting pretty. Oh, the Page of coins and the Lover's card. Okay, they have power. They have power because of who they're in bed with. I mean, they have power just because of their economic partnerships. So it's not just that these are norms. It's not just that mainland China has granted this to Hong Kong. Hong Kong has power of its own, a lot of power of its own, and they're sitting pretty. So I think this is good. I think that they will maintain that independence. All right, and I wanted to, oh goodness, Ratcliffe, did you guys see this? Oh my gosh. So Trump wanted to replace Dan Coats for a while, right? He was the intelligence chief and career intel person, right? I mean, highly qualified for the job. He made sense in the job. But, he was saying, he was disagreeing with the president publicly. He was, saying, yes, Russia interfered in our election. And yes, it's very likely they will try to do that again. And he was saying, oh, what other things? Just about, just telling the truth. There was no spying on Trump that was shady or anything like that. And, he'll just come right out and say, oh, yeah, North Korea. Well, actually, he said, no, things are not solved over there. And he's been pointing out what Kim Jong-un has been doing, in spite of the grand love affair between Trump and Kim Jong-un. So, Coates is out. We are not surprised. But Ratcliffe, he's a congressman, and so he was the one who I found particularly obnoxious during the Mueller testimony, because he asked Mueller questions that he then did not allow Mueller to answer, about when has this ever happened before, that a president was not indicted, but nor was he exonerated, nor was he ever either, and this is obviously, Mueller said, well, this is a unique situation. We can't exonerate him, but yet it's not fair to charge him when he can't defend himself while he's president. And Mueller made it clear, but Ratcliffe pretended not to understand that and went on a long speech auditioning for the role of new intelligence chief. I like to try to get the actual title correct here. So, yeah. So what in the world's going to happen with that? He's woefully underqualified, I guess. We're not too surprised by that either. Let's see, what is going to happen with that? 3 cards. Okay, so there's going to be a lot of manipulations that are tried with this Magician card reverse. He's going to try a lot of things. And so we may hear headlines about trying to investigate whether there was spying on Trump, maybe even going back to the Obama administration and trying to reopen stuff on him. We're going to hear headlines like that again. But apparently it's not going to go anywhere. It's all manipulation. It's not really going to manifest. And maybe it's a manipulation. He's doing this, I'm sorry for the breeze, you guys. He's doing this partly to please his boss, like he wants to, yep. That's the energy I'm getting. He just wants to do this thing that a lot of Trump's appointees have done, take enough positions publicly to reassure Trump that they're loyal to him, they're on his side, but they're really not putting a lot of effort into pursuing these things because they know there's nothing there and they know it would be bad for their career long term. They want to outlast him and perhaps stay on after the next president is there and become, lifelong in that position. I feel like Bill Barr, that's his strategy too. So, okay, that makes sense to me because it was so obvious to me. He was putting on theater and he knew he was putting on theater. He knew he was acting. So that's no big surprise. And then we have we have that Knight of Wands, and those are the investigations. He will try to slow them. That means, he will use his position to try to slow them down, stall them. That's true. Cup runneth over. What exactly does that mean? Because I feel like that's, okay, sneaky stuff. Okay, he's doing sneaky stuff too then. I feel like that cup runneth over card has come up to remind us that there are a lot of shady things happening. There have been. There is information out there about that, and this stuff will come to light at some point. There's plenty. Like everything we think could be happening there behind the scenes that's shady and illegal and unethical is probably happening. And it will come to light. So that's the Seven of Swords. It's the sneakiness, he's getting away with it now, but there are people in the background in this card who can see him right there. And he thinks he's getting away, but he's not. All right, so this will be interesting, but you know what? He just digs his hole deeper by taking this opportunity. It's not right. It's just not right. Oh, I wanted to ask about Puerto Rico, because Rosello did indeed step down. He hasn't stepped down yet. He did indeed resign, as we saw in the cards for him, and the a person who would normally be second in line to replace him, they want her out too. So I learned a lot more about the corruption, and I remember, during Hurricane Maria and the aftermath of that, all of the concern that the money was going to contractors that were his friends, not the best contractors. And then he's had a couple of people in his administration charged with stealing and I don't know if it's embezzlement, that kind of thing. So there is quite a lot of corruption that already had him in bad reputation. So we shall see now who replaces who. It's got to be somebody he appoints apparently at this point. So does he appoint someone good, or what kind of person does he appoint if it's not going to be the next in line? Because she's already said she doesn't want it, and the public has said we don't want her. So we have the 9 of Swords. We have a lot of worry. But yet we have hope. And I feel like I remember the reading on Puerto Rico, and there were lots of reasons for hope there. And we have the Page of Swords. Gosh, that's interesting. Because Page of Swords a lot of times is new information coming out. I don't feel like it could be somebody that young. Could it be? So a decision has yet to be made. It's not made yet. But okay, so that means, we got the 2 of Swords. So that means this card is more information coming out. This card is a lot of times somebody with inside information, even spying kind of like, or whistleblower, somebody with inside information. So more is going to be coming out. So I feel like even if you appoint someone, it doesn't necessarily mean that's who they end up with. So someone will win it though. We have the Knight of Swords. Someone will be quite forceful, and he won't be it'll be younger or middle-aged guy, not older, who may come forward and say, we're going to clean this up. And so he may end up, I don't know that he'd be Rosello's appointee. Maybe these cards are about the next election. I wanted to ask about Carmen though, because some people have said, what about Carmen Yulín Cruz, the mayor of San Juan, who, really put herself out there during the aftermath of Maria to try to fight for aid for her territory there, for her. We don't call it a country, do we? I wonder what Puerto Ricans call it themselves. A nation state? No. Anyway, if anybody knows, put it in comments. I'll look and I will learn something. Okay. So what about Carmen? What about Cruz? What looks like for her? Well, we have the Chariot with the 2 Sphinxes. So she's definitely in talk. She's in the running as they're thinking of the next election, I think. We have the 3 of Cups. So we have female voters would be very happy with that. We have the Sun. We have joy. Oh, and we have the 8 of Coins. So also, oh goodness, she's learning. She's been mayor. Much to learn. So I don't know. Okay, so I'm not sure. It looks like it's not decided. It could go 2 ways as we're looking at the next election. Maybe it's that she learns more and then she thinks of running later. But the sun is on her. The sun is shining upon her. So she's got good times coming politically for herself. So that is good. Yeah, so maybe there'd even be an appointed position for her or something. There may be in the new administration. I don't know. There's something happening though, but I am interested to see who this Knight of Swords is. All for the good, all for the good. They may have a delay. They may have a delay in getting who they want because there may indeed be an appointee until the next election. But it's all for the good. All right. Well, I thank you all. I think I read on the things I want to read on for now, but if there's anything else, let me know. Thank you so much for joining me in spite of the wind. You have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.